This video is intended for teachers. I'll be showing you how you would be able to do the classification of your learners in Excel. Usually, you do this and submit this report every quarter. Let me show you now how to do it. We have here two sections, Section A and Section B, and each section consists of 25 students. So the final grade of each student is reflected here. We'll do first some conditional formatting. So let me highlight the final grades of Section A and then press Control and highlight the final grades of Section B. Then let's click Conditional Formatting. Click New Rule. Let's select Format only cells that contain cell value less than, I'll type 75. Format, let's just change the color of the text to red and click OK. OK. So 73 is marked red, same with 72. So there you go. Now let's place the remarks. Let's type in here equals, then if, we will be using the if function, then open parentheses, input the logical test, so click on 76. This is C2. So if the final grade is greater than or equal to 75, comma, then quote, passed. Quote again, then comma, quote, failed. Quote, then close parentheses. So I typed here equals if parentheses C2, this is the first final grade. So if the final grade is greater than or equal to 75, the student passed. Otherwise, the student failed. Hit enter. Then just use the fill handle, this one here, on the lower right, this one. Just double click. So now we have two students with failing marks. Similarly, we'll do this on section B, equals, type if, parentheses, enter the logical test. So if the final grade is greater than or equal to 75, comma, then quote, passed, quote again, then comma, quote, failed. Quote again, then parentheses. Then hit enter. We'll use the fill handle to double click. So we have the remarks here. This table here would like us to determine the number of students with a grade of below 75. This is the second column. Then next is number of students with a grade of 75 to 80, followed by grade of 81 to 85, then grade of 86 to 90, followed by grade of 91 to 95, and the last is grade of 96 to 100. And we'll do this for both sections A and B. So we'll compute first and fill in the required information for section A. So equals, let's make use of the countif function, parentheses, then input the range, highlight the final grades of the section A. Then comma, the criteria is below 75. So quote, less than 75, quote again, then close parentheses. So again, we typed equals countif, parentheses, the range from C2 through C26. And then comma, quote, less than 75, quote, close parentheses, hit enter. So we have two grades here that's below 75. So we have 73 and another 73 here. Next, for section B, we'll use countif equals countif parentheses, then highlight all the final grades for section B, comma, quote, then below 75, quote again, then close parentheses, hit enter. So similarly, we have 2. So let's take a look. 1 and we have 2. So there's 2 students of the section B that has below 75 grade. Next is the number of students with a grade of 75 to 80. This time, we're going to make use of the countifs function with an S. So earlier, we just make use of countif without S because we dealt with one criteria only. But this time, we're having two criteria here because of the 75 to 80. So we're going to make use of the countifs. Let's type equals, then countifs. Let's double click here. Then enter the range is for section A. Just highlight the final grades. Then, comma. Then let's enter the first criteria, quote, greater than or equal to 75, quote again. Then, comma, the range 2, which is the same. This one, highlight this again, the final grades of section A. After that, comma, then let's enter the second criteria. So quote, less than or equal to 80. Then quote again, close parentheses. So again, we have type equals countifs, parentheses, C2 through C26. This is the final grade of section A. Then comma, quote, greater than or equal to 75, quote, comma, then highlight again the same range, the final grades of section A, comma, and quote, less than or equal to 80, quote, then parentheses. Then hit enter. So we have 3 students with a grade of 75 to 80. Let's check it here. So we have 1, 2, 3. Now let's go to the section B. Similarly, let's type equals, then countifs, parentheses, then highlight the final grades of section B students, then comma, let's enter the first criteria. So quote, greater than equal to 75, quote again, then comma, then highlight the final grades again of section B, then comma, then second criteria would be quote, less than or equal to 80. Then quote again, then parentheses. Hit enter. We have 4 students with a grade of 75 to 80. Let's check. We have 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So next, let's proceed to the number of students with a grade of 81 to 85. Type equals, then countifs, parentheses. Then this is for section A. So let's take a look at section A. Okay, select the final grades. Now we can continue with the criteria. So comma, then quote. So this is from 81 to 85. So greater than or equal to 81. Quote again, then comma. Then next, highlight the same range. So the final grades. Next is comma. Then the second criteria would be quote, less than or equal to 85. Quote again, then parentheses. So again, we have type equals countifs, parentheses, highlight the range. This is the final grades of Section A students. Then comma, quote, greater than equals to 81, quote, then comma, then highlight the same range, comma, quote, less than equal to 85, then quote again, parentheses, then hit enter. So we have 8 students. Next is for section B, equals, then count ifs, double click, then highlight the final grades of section B, comma, then quote, enter the first criteria, greater than equal to 81, quote again, then comma, then the second range, same range, then comma, then quote, then the next criteria which is less than or equal to 85. Quote again, then parentheses. Now let's hit enter. So there's 5 students from section B having grades of 81 to 85. Next is number of students with a grade of 86 to 90. Still will make use of count ifs. So just follow equals count ifs, parentheses. This is for section A. So let's highlight the final grades of the students from section A, then comma, insert the first criteria, quote, greater than or equal to 86. 86. Then quote again, comma, then highlight the range again, the final grades, then comma again, then quote, less than or equal to 90. Quote again, then parentheses. Then hit enter. Okay, so we have 9. Next is for section B, equals count ifs, parentheses. Let's highlight the final grades of those from section B, then comma, quote, greater than or equal to 86. Then quote again, comma, then highlight the final grades again, comma, then insert the second criteria, quote, then we have less than equal to 90. Then quote again, then parentheses. So again, we type equals count ifs, parentheses, the range. This is the final grades of section B, comma, then quote, greater than or equal to 86, quote again, comma, highlight the same criteria or range rather, this one, the final grades, then comma, quote, less than equal to 90, quote, then parentheses, then press enter. We have 8 students with a grade of 86 to 90. Now let's proceed to the next column. Number of students with a grade of 91 to 95. Type equals, then count ifs, parentheses, then highlight the final grades of section A. After that, enter the first criteria, quote, greater than or equal to 91. Then quote again, then comma, highlight or select again the final grades of section A. Then comma, then enter the second criteria. So quote, then less than equal to 95. Quote again, parentheses. So we have entered equals count ifs, parentheses, the range C2 through C26, comma, quote, greater than equal to 91, quote, and then comma, C2 through C26, comma, quote, less than equal to 95, quote, and parentheses, hit enter. So we have 3. Now, instead of typing the formula, the function here for section B, I will just drag this using the fill handle drag down. Okay, but we need to edit the formula. So we shall click on edit in formula bar. So we need to change the range because this is for section B. So we will highlight the final grades of section B. And this one here, highlight, then hit enter. Now for the last one, equals, type countifs, parentheses. Okay, so this is for students having grades of 96 to 100. So let's highlight the final grades of section A. Then, comma, I hope you can follow. Then insert the first criteria, quote, greater than equal to 96. Then quote again, comma, then select once again the final grades of section A. After that, comma, insert the second criteria, so that's quote, less than or equal to 100. Quote again, then parentheses. Okay, so again, we have type equals countifs, parentheses, C2 through C26, then comma, quote, greater than equal to 96, then quote, comma, C2 through C26, comma, quote, then less than equal to 100, quote, then parentheses. Enter. So we have 0 for section A. We have 0 here. I will just use the fill handle, drag this, but make sure that you edit this in the formula bar. So we'll change this, the range, highlight the final grades of section B, and this one here also, highlight, then hit enter. So we have 1. So let's see where's that. Okay, we have 96 here. That's how we determine the number of students using Countif and Countifs. Now let's proceed to getting the average grade. So type equals, then the word average, parentheses. Okay, so let's select the final grades of section A, parentheses again, then enter. Okay, next, we'll do the same for section B. So equals average, then highlight the final grades, parentheses, hit enter. Next, for the pass and failed. So how many students passed and failed in your subject? First, let us get the number of students who passed the subject. So equals, then count if, parentheses, then the range. This time we're going to highlight the remarks. This is section A. Then comma, quote, then type the word passed. Quote again, then parentheses. Hit enter. So we have 23 students from section A who passed the subject. Next, for section B, equals, count if, or count if rather without an S. Then highlight this, the remarks, comma, quote, and type the word passed. quote again, then parentheses. Enter. So we have also 23. Now for the failed, equals, same, we'll use countif, parentheses, we'll highlight the remarks here of section A, comma, then we're going to input the criteria, quote, this time it's failed, quote again, then parentheses, hit enter. So we have two from section A who failed the subject. So we have 1 and 2. Let's remember that there are only 25 students. Next, for section B, I will just use the fill handle. I will edit this here. This is the formula bar where I will edit the formula because the range should be this one here. This is the remarks of the section B. So hit enter. Just a reminder that if you're going to make use of the fill handle to drag the formula down, make sure that in the second cell, you edit the formula. Okay? Edit the range or edit the criteria. If ever you find it hard to use the Countif and Countifs function in Excel, I suggest you sort the final grades instead. So let me show you how you do that. Highlight the section A first, the data here. Go to the Home tab and click Sort and Filter. Go to Custom Sort, or you may also go to the Data tab and click Sort. Sort by the final grades. And I want it from the smallest to largest. You may change that if you like. Click OK. So from here, you can start the counting. Same with section B. I will highlight, then sort by the final grade. Smallest to largest, click OK. This is actually easy, but the thing is, when you do the countif and countifs function, whenever you make a change, let us say you made a mistake and this student ABB, instead of 75, he actually has a failing mark of 73. Let's enter. So see that this one, this area here, this section here changes from 2 to 3. So it's automatic since we made use of the countif function. Notice also that the number of students who failed in section B, as reflected here, increases by 1. So earlier this was 2, but it was changed to 3 when we changed the 75 here to 73. Whatever changes you make in the final grades, that will also affect the number or values found in your table. Just be careful when we're highlighting the range and entering the criteria. This countif and countifs function is good, especially when we're dealing with a large number of students. Earlier this was 2, but it was changed to 3 when we changed the 75 here to 73. Whatever changes you make in the final grades, that will also affect the number or values found in your table. Just be careful when we're highlighting the range and entering the criteria. This countif and countifs function is good, especially when we're dealing with a large number of students.